Hey everyone, welcome back to the latest episode of TT Plays, here for some Old Man Gaming, and today we're just focusing on Blizzard. So what is Blizzard? It's an ice instance, and it says target attack loses and can't gain go again unless the attacking hero plays 2. In addition, Icelander, because we're playing an ice card on their turn, ideally we're blizzarding them, is going to create a frostbite. What that means is it's going to cost you 3 basically to continue attacking, right? We've got to pay 2 for the blizzard itself and then a third to crack the frostbite. So even if they're planning on attacking for another 0, like a scar for scar, they need a resource to pitch that through. So the idea of Blizzard is we're going to use this card. We're hoping they don't have the ability to pay for it. We're going to shut their turn down, forcing them to go to their end of their turn with additional cards in their hand, right? Michael Hamilton once told me, and I'm not pretending we're great friends or anything, Michael Hamilton once said to me that Icelander is all about efficiency, and that really clicked for me, and it kind of opened up avenues for Blizzard, right? We want them to end their turn unefficiently, multiple cards in their hand. They chose not to block or interact with us. Blizzard come through, shuts their turn down. They move to the end of the turn with 2, maybe 3 cards in their hand in Arsenal. That's a phenomenal turn. So for Blizzard, there's a couple different timing steps here, and we're going to look at the Flesh and Blood comprehensive rules here, but right here in front of us, we have our times that we can use it, right? So we have the layer step, we have the reaction step, and then we have the resolution step in which we can use these. And there's important timings for each one of these, depending on what we're trying to do here. So let's talk about the layer. So the layer is the very first thing, right? I attack with a card, and at that point in time, I can use Blizzard into it. So why would we ever want to use Blizzard at this step? Well, if the attack itself, let's take an E-Strike, for example, is going to give you a card before this text resolves, we have the opportunity to Blizzard them. So Briar is one of them. There's an embodiment of lightning out there. So E-Strike has go again. So they're going to say 5, draw a card, go again. And at that point, we would want to respond on the layer with the Blizzard, so that they have to pay the 3 for the Blizzard while they don't have that additional card in their hand, right? That's one of the times we want to do it here, right? We're doing it at the point where we both shared have the most information, and we're denying them additional information from drawing the card. So I guess, us as the defensive player here have as much information as we can. We want to deny our opponent additional information. That's why I might Blizzard on the layer, is if the attack had something associated with it where it's going to draw a card here. Some other cards there might be something like Trade-In. If I could type. Right, so Trade-In says when you attack with Trade-In, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Again, if they plan on cycling a card out of their hand that they don't like, again, I might Blizzard right there on the layer before the text on this takes effect, right? To give that opportunity. Again, they have less information in front of them. We have as much information as we're going to get. Let's go ahead and let's run the Blizzard out there. So those are the times I would run Blizzard at the layer step. There are other situations there, but basically think is like when that attack becomes an attack, does it give them a benefit by drawing a card or giving them some kind of other tertiary benefit? If that's the case, I want to shut it down right there for Blizzard. When would we use it in the reaction phase? Never. I really can't think of when we would want to stop it in the reaction phase. Now, you might say, why? What are the negatives of doing it in the reaction phase? Well, if they know that they can't get any additional attacks, then they're just going to use all their weird pumps and things into this attack. So maybe they're sitting on a blue pummel, right? And they never want to use a blue pummel because it's very inefficient. But if they're only going to get one attack, and they were planning on using this blue pummel as a resource card, now they're just going to send that pummel through on the attack in order to maximize the damage on their turn. That's what they should do as a good player. But if they think they're going to get another attack, they're going to not use the pummel, right? And that's what's so important about the resolution step. So the resolution step is all the way down here at the end. Damage has already been set for the resolution step. So at the time we're using the Blizzard, they can't go back and... Well, I mean, they can't go back and use any of their reactions. Damage has already been set for the attack. So again, we're keeping as much information to ourselves. We're the only ones that know we have a Blizzard. They don't know we have a Blizzard. Let's get to reaction so that they can't use any of their buffs, Ancestral, Pummel, anything like that. We can deny them the go again. Things like Snapdragons or other things to maybe give them the go again, right? Well, I mean, they can't regain it. But we've passed that phase. We're denying them information. So now maybe they have a bunch of things that draw them cards in the resolution phase. Mask of Momentum is a great example there. And again, we can respond to the Mask of Momentum trigger here, right? When an attack is a third or card higher in the chain in a row, hit, draw a card. That's going to be a triggered effect. We can respond to the mask trigger, blizzard them right there, so that they have to decide on what's going on with the blizzard before they draw the card. So those are the times we want to use it. Again, layer step, if the attack becoming an actual attack, moving from the attack layer to an attack source, that's when we'd want to use it out. I almost never want to use it in the reaction phase, because using it in the reaction phase encourages my opponents to play all their cards because they know they're only going to get one attack. If we can wait to the resolution phase, it's too late for my opponent to pump that attack that's already gone through. They've kind of committed there, and we can do it before things like Mask of Momentum and other things of that nature. Now, Katsu is an interesting one. And I'm just going to read Katsu real quick. The first time an attack action card you control hits each turn, you may discard a card with 0. If you do, search your deck for a card with combo, banish it, and then shuffle your card. So this happens in the resolution step. And I will normally want the Katsu to trigger this first before I decide if I want to blizzard. And it's important, before we move out of any phase here, right, have both players pass priority in succession. So Katsu triggers, I'll say no response. They say, I'm going to trigger it. They go through, they search their stuff. We then refresh to a fresh state. They're going to pass priority resolution. We're going to regain it, and we're going to play Blizzard out. Now, why would I want Katsu to activate their trigger first? Well, they're going to discard a card from their hand. They're probably going to discard their worst card, which might be a blue, might be a red, might be a yellow. Who cares? They're getting rid of a card in their hand. Whatever card they get rid of, they can no longer use to pay for the Blizzard. So we're just being as efficient as we can on our side. And ideally, Katsu can't play for the Blizzard. They've already banished a card, right? So that card is just out of the game, which is phenomenal. They can only play it for this turn. So if we steal that go again, if we reclaim that action point, deny them that action point, then they've wasted the Katsu trigger. And again, we can just be more efficient in that way. So at a high level, those are kind of the different ways that I normally think of to play Blizzard. On the layer, to make them make a decision before they get additional information from drawing a card. We almost never want to do it in the reaction step. And then in the resolution step, I like to do it before they get to draw a card, or if they're going to put themselves in a situation at card disadvantage from hand, like Katsu or some of the other new cards we see in Dusk Till Dawn, I'm going to let them go ahead and do that. Then I'm going to regain priority before the step passes, and I'm going to Blizzard them then. So hopefully these tips help you slow down your opponent with Icelander and regain some tempo. Until next time, everyone, cheers and happy gaming.